in Scotland from Switzerland. It's reported the Prime Minister's cut short his summer staycation in Scotland on safety grounds. And the families of those killed in the Shoreline air crash say they're stuck waiting for answers 5 years on. The weather breezy with sunny spells and showers, rain lingering more in the north for Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. A high today of 24 degrees.
And we see travel. I'm Joanne Webb. The A20 is closed in both directions at West Kingsdown, and that's because a car was on fire earlier. Also closed is the Forest Road in Hainault. It's closed in both directions after a burst water main. There are restrictions on the A13 westbound just after the M25 junction, and that's following an accident. On the underground, the district line's not running from Tower Hill to Dagenham East today. That's for the weekend engineering works, and the Hammersmith and City line is suspended between Tower Hill and Barking.
This is LBC. As shops open up again, how do we all stay safe? Fontaine runs a craft store.
We've made the shop COVID safe. If you can't keep 2 metres apart, make sure it's 1 metre with extra precautions. Know the number of customers allowed in at any one time. Use the hand sanitizer at the entrance and use contactless payments. I'm loving serving customers again, but please, to keep us open, we've all got to keep to the guidelines.
Stay alert. Control the virus. Save lives. How much money will you get when you sell your car? 7,000.
8,000.
8,500.
9,000 pounds. Wouldn't it be great if you could see offers from online buyers and specialist car dealers all in one place? Motorway.co.uk is the comparison site to sell your car. With Motorway, it's easy to compare offers and find your best deal. You could get up to £1,000 more. Go to motorway.co.uk, the easy way to sell your car for more. Motorway.co.uk. I work for a living. I work all my days. Who could have predicted this extraordinary phase? Time stood still, the clock kept ticking. Business is beating, trade still kicking. I'll stay strong, keep my head above water. For me, for my customers, and my daughter. Adapt to new ways. Work where I please, get paid on time, manage cash flow with ease. With experts beside me, let's press play. New tomorrow starts today.
More Sage Accounting. Try free for 3 months at Sage.com. Charges apply after 3rd month is cancelled.
Hi, I'm Jake and I'm a cleaner for TfL. We're keeping the transport network cleaner and safer than ever before by regularly spraying all our services with hospital-grade antiviral disinfectant. It kills viruses and bacteria on contact, so the network is as safe as possible for everyone. Please also remember, everyone must wear a face covering at all times, unless you are exempt. To find out more, search TfL Restart Plan. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
So you want a new car, but only with the right deal, of course. Well, here's this year's must-have offers now at Junker Toyota's 70 plate event. For a limited time only, enjoy up to 10% off the list price on selected new Toyotas. And right on the money, there's 0% finance on some very special key models. The clock is ticking, so visit your nearest Junker Toyota centre
Sean Fielding is leader of Oldham Council. Sean, thank you very much for joining us on LBC. Your reaction to these new restrictions?
Well, whilst we'd obviously like to be going in the opposite direction and reducing restrictions so that people can have back some of the freedoms that they had prior to the lockdown, there was something of a sigh of relief because, of course, earlier this week, the government was talking about a Leicester-style lockdown in Oldham, which would have meant the closure of all of those non-essential businesses and pubs and restaurants, which I think would have been a complete catastrophe for our borough. But fortunately, over the last 72 hours, through some quite tense negotiations, we were able to convince them that the epidemiology didn't back such a move, and they compromised with these additional restrictions over and above what the rest of Greater Manchester has, but which we believe will be much more successful in the closure of the economy and reducing the infection rate.
Well, I'm sure I'm pleased that you got what you want, Mr. Fielding, as leader of Oldham Council. I completely understand, but that's interesting that you say it was a negotiation. I thought we were being led by the science, whatever that means.
Well, I think that it depends which science you choose and if you choose it selectively, because at one point the government was looking at the infection rate in raw numbers terms and saying, well, you're quite similar to Leicester and we imposed a local lockdown in Leicester, but actually, if you look at the science more in depth, what it shows is that the wave of pandemic that we're experiencing in Oldham is amongst the working age population. It's people that are catching it and getting it as quite a mild illness. We're not seeing any significant increase in hospital admissions or significant increase in deaths. And of course, the first lockdown was about protecting the NHS and reducing pressure on hospitals. Now, that's not necessary at the moment because we're not seeing increased hospital admissions, and so that's why lockdown would have been the wrong decision.
This is very interesting because this could be a blueprint for the entire nation. In actual fact, if younger people are getting poorly with COVID-19, and in fact, if they're testing positive, but actually either having no symptoms or very mild symptoms, why go into lockdown? This was the basis for your argument.
Well, it was, and it was really suffer from extra community tensions, which I think would have been inflamed as well had we gone into.
What does that mean? Let's be very frank with each other. What does a history of community tensions mean? What does that mean?
Well, there is racial tension in Oldham that has bubbled up with the service and been kept led on quite well for a long time, but because of the frustration of people having to stay at home, because of the stress, the mental stress that it places on people from not being able to interact with their families and friends in the way that they would like, that stuff sometimes comes to the fore, and we've seen an uptick in hate crime and an uptick in racism on our social media channels as the council, and that's something that we're having to grapple with as well.
Okay, so it was a negotiation. You won the negotiation, so how long will these restrictions be in place? Was a timeline a part of your talks?
Originally, we did ask for a period of 2 weeks to allow what we were doing to filter through into the numbers. We've already started on additional door-to-door, really intensive testing and some creative ways of communicating messages to our harder-to-reach communities. And we don't think that there'd been enough time for that to play through into the statistics. So we did ask for a period of 2 weeks. We've not been given a particular time limit on these to show the effect. We've just been told no lockdown today, but you're still being watched. And so we could be here in a few days' time if the numbers don't improve. But given we're already on a downward trajectory and we are steadily moving as opposed to that downward trajectory, I'm confident that things will reduce even further and the situation will improve.
That's wonderful. Listen, I've been speaking here. How fascinating. Sean Fielding, leader of Oldham Council. Thank you for joining us. It's been 7 years the time. On these wildfires in Northern California, spreading yesterday to become some of the largest in the state's history. The rapid spread of these blazes has caused thousands of people to flee their homes, and it's destroyed hundreds of homes as well. And as reinforcement arriving to help these firefight this terrible situation. Colin Dolan is a local exit in Los Angeles. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. How bad is this?
It's very bad. It's unique. We normally have fire seasons, and we've had wildfires before. This is the result of some 11,000 lightning strikes that the state received in a recent storm, a dry storm, very uncommon. California normally doesn't get this kind of thing, and that started over 300 to 400 different fires that burned in separate places that all come together. As you point out, we understand it's now at least 550 buildings that burned. Those are homes. It's a total of 780 square miles. That's the size of the state of Rhode Island. And from what we understand, there are at least four people who died, and there's a possibly a fifth. We understand that a utility worker has been spared this so far. Much of this is in the northern part of the state around Silicon Valley and some of the in the wine country of Napa. San Francisco has had some of the worst air in the world as a result of this. And in fact, the fire, we understand that the smoke from the fire is